Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past Let's Play here on Heavy Physics channel. We conquered the Tower of Hera to claim the final Pendant of Virtue, the Pendant of Power! And in this episode, with all three pendants gathered, we have the Pendant of Courage, the Pendant of Wisdom, and the Pendant of Power. The green Pendant of Courage, the blue Pendant of Wisdom, and the red Pendant of Power. It's time to head back down from Death Mountain and head towards the resting place of the Master Sword. The Master Sword is a very prominent artifact item in the Zelda mythos. It was forged by the flames of the three great goddesses of the creator gods, which amplified through the use of Hyrule, the other goddess that existed. That would be the two. There were two sets of goddesses in the Hyrule continuity, but in this timeline, which was recently revealed, it was said that all the old powers were dead. The Link in this timeline is the last descendant of the official of the bloodline of the great heroes. So essentially, now all we have to do is that the Moon Pearl. He'll just tell you the Moon Pearl pretty much protects us from the powers of the golden power. Protects us from the influence of the golden power. So, let's see if we can get back to where we were. I heard a dog. I know. Anyway, let's get to work. Let's get back to it. Which we do. Now we head off. Now we found the proper way to get down. Just to negate through this cave. As such. Now, here's what you do here. Normally, one of your best instincts is to use the Pegasus boots to run all the way down here. But you would have hit the wall there, and the bounce back would have hit you into the pit. Alright, now back to where we were before we could make the climb to Death Mountain. With our selection of hearts and all that. So, with our 9 heart containers, we are nearly done with this bit entirely. So, these are the Bumpkin brothers, A Bumpkin and B Bumpkin, the lumberjack brothers. Essentially, they just carried their wares around. However, they just tell you that the fog has descended through the area that was there, which is the Lost Woods. We've been there before. Yes, we have. Now, the Lost Woods is the location of where the Master Sword was sealed. The only way you would have to lift it is to collect the 3 pendants, as I mentioned, as the village elder would have told you. That's the legend. Legends are true. The only way to break through Agrahim's magic is to get the Master Sword, because it is known as the Sword of Evil's Bane. What you don't know is that they actually showed how the demon was created. Every time the Master Sword every time an incarnation of Link picks the Master Sword up, it feels like it's familiar. They explain this. They explain this. The Master Sword contains the essence of the power of not only the power of the goddess Hyrule, which was incarnated at the time as Princess Zelda. Ironically, the first Princess Zelda that existed in the timeline. Since we're going with the timeline entirely, so now the Master Sword didn't exist in the game afterwards, which was known as didn't exist during Minish Cap, which is the game that came after Skyward Sword, because they wanted to focus on the other sword known only as the Four Sword, and of course the impact that was Vati, which of course is the new thing that existed. That game has now been since called canon. The Master Sword contains the essence of the demon Demise, who was killed, and his evil essence was absorbed into the Master Sword, followed by Goddess Hyrule. That's why it's called the Sword of Evil's Bane. And we've just found the resting place of this fabled sword. And there it is. With the 3 pendants of virtue at your side, Link! A knight squire becomes the new legend. Becomes the last great hero of the land. And the Link. Yeah, it is extraordinary. Lo and behold, the newest Link to exist. The hero of demise. No, I'm gonna call this one a very nice name. He is now known as the hero of decline. He is the last Link to exist. Why are you saying he's the last Link to exist? Well, there's a little bit of a story there. It is implied that in this timeline, Link was killed during his battle with Ganondorf. Ganondorf ending up with Ganondorf defeating Link and presumably Zelda. They decided to unify together to face other stuff. So, not other stuff. What am I doing? Oh yeah! Now that we have the Master Sword, we can actually go. We can now go get the first of 3 power medallions. That is awesome. By the way, that glowy thing there, that's Ganon's tower. I got the Moon Pearl. Of course I'm not a normal guy. The next destined hero is actually one that does not transform by the Dark World's magic. So we're now with the Dark now that we can claim our next one. Let's get the Book of Madora out. Head towards the left. And then we shall now read this statue, which is gibberish. And we will now get the next item, one of 3 powerful medallions. This is the Ether Medallion. This controls the icy winds. We will see later on, but we're nearly done for now, so I believe we can take a look at our next reprieve. Is that we should really head to the Sanctuary to tell Princess Zelda the great news that we actually have the Master Sword on our side. And let's take a look, and no, we're not going there. Why are we not going there?